This Grade 1 listed church, which can seat a congregation of just 30, is reputedly the smallest complete parish church still in regular use anywhere in England. So where am I? I'll tell you in just a moment. Today's show revolves around healing hands and pampered paws as we help a couple and their dogs find a dream country home.
This is really nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
This is, yeah, it's lovely.
This
nice.
is lovely.
And after polite feedback, we find something to really ignite their passions.
I think we could live here.
I think we could. Will you stop crying then?
Yeah.
Today I'm in the Exmoor National Park, and this is Culburn Church, which can only be accessed by foot. Now, parts of the church are believed to date back to Saxon times, but over the years it's seen many changes, including the bell tower that was built by the Victorians. Now, long before Christianity reached these shores, and even longer before this church was built, Culburn was a centre for pagan worship. And just standing here, you can feel it's a very special place. It may not come as a great surprise to learn that Exmoor is one of the least populated places in England, with a small permanent population of just 10,300 people living in 4,500 households. Now, according to a leading property website, last year only 212 properties were bought or sold, but they went for quite a premium. A detached property within the boundaries of the national park costs around £321,000. That's 20% above the national average. However, there's nothing average about the properties we've picked for today's buyers. So let's meet them. 3 years ago, retired policeman Tim and his wife Sue swapped America's East Coast for the British South Coast. Returning expats, they had spent 25 years in the Sunshine State of Florida. But the call of the English countryside could not be ignored. And though they currently live in this large 6-bedroom, 3-storey property in Bournemouth, the plan is to find their dream home in the West Country.
I think one of the reasons that we'd like to move from this house is it's a lot of house, but it goes upwards. And what we'd like is a house that goes outwards.
Although it's detached, we're quite close. And with 3 dogs, you know, we have to sort of keep them quiet, which is not fair for them. So we would like more room.
It was in Somerset where they first met, so the area holds a very special place in their hearts.
What we would like to do is to look for a property in and around the Exmoor area. We've looked at Linton and Lynmouth and Barnstable and just a few places out around there.
We don't want to be too isolated, you know, be able to get to a town where there's
a pub.
Pub and leisure centre, because we both do quite a few sports.
Sue works in the town as a swimming instructor, and Tim has a passion for Tai Chi. In fact, the couple have a shared love of sport, both as participants and volunteers.
We used to do a lot of youth work with underprivileged children and stuff like that.
We run a football tournament. Tim used to do all the refereeing and I used to do all the paperwork, just to keep these kids off the streets.
And such is Sue's commitment to charity that Tim nominated her for the torch relay in the ultimate sporting event, the 2012 Olympic Games.
When I knew that I was nominated, I never thought I'd get to actually run with the torch. It was really nice.
To be able to give someone a moment like that is very special. Well, you deserve that. Oh,
They're clearly devoted to one another, but this couple also have separate business ideas bubbling. Tim is a qualified Reiki master and yearns for the right environment to offer his complementary therapy.
Ideally, what I would like is a building outside the main home or a soundproof room within it that I could actually continue doing my treatments and the dogs could continue doing their thing.
I've always had this ambition to do a doggy daycare. They spend a day and then they go back in the evening.
All that's left is to ascertain the figure they're willing to spend on their new home.
The budget for our move is £450,000.
For the best chance of finding exactly what Tim and Sue are looking for, we'll be searching the length and breadth of the national park from Dulverton in Somerset to Linton in Devon. And it's in Somerset over a cuppa and a biscuit where we're meeting up to get better acquainted and to nail the finer details of their move. Sue and Tim, welcome to Exmoor. The sun's shining, it's a beautiful day, but it is freezing out there. That wind is biting. So you currently live in Bournemouth, so you've been back a few years, but why do you want to move to Exmoor?
The reason really is because of our dogs. We have 3 dogs, and we just want a place where we've got more room for them to run around.
So more country living.
More country living.
Can't get more country than this
No,
beautiful
you
national
cannot.
park,
No.
can you?
No, you can't.
But what about the style of houses? We've got to get to the real crunch here. Florida homes, I'm thinking big, spacious.
Yes. I mean, a 3-bedroom home is fine. If there's more bedrooms, then fine. We have 6 at the moment, which we don't need because there's only 2 of us. Nice kitchen, nice master bedroom. As open plan as possible, but if it wasn't, we'd be prepared to knock walls down to open the house up.
Because open plan, spacious properties might be quite hard to find in this part of the world.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm glad you said that you were open-minded. We've got our work cut out for us, haven't we? Go on, remind me of our budget.
450, but we could maybe squeeze a little bit more if it was the perfect property.
So for that budget, you don't mind a little bit of a project perhaps as well?
Don't mind at all.
Good, well, I'm looking forward to this. So let's finish our tea. I think we put on about 4 more layers. It's cold out there, and we'll get cracking.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So, for an absolute maximum budget of £475,000, Tim and Sue are after a spacious house with at least 3 bedrooms that includes a roomy master. They'd also like a large kitchen and the potential for open-plan living areas. The property should also ideally cater for their respective Reiki and dog daycare businesses, and they need a big secure garden for their 3 dogs to run around to their heart's content. And our super selection of Exmoor properties includes some interesting conversions, but I won't be revealing each price straight away. Then, to finish off, we're serving up the mystery house, which could convert their country dream into hard cash sooner than they thought. Our first property is on the Somerset side in the small hamlet of Exton, in the southern portion of the national park. The nearest place to pick up essential amenities is the rural moorland village of Winsford, that has a post office and shop selling a variety of local produce, as well as a particularly attractive and perfectly thatched pub. And we're making a quick detour here to soak up more of this idyllic Exmoor setting. So guys, this is a village very close to our first house. The village is called Winsford. You can hear the brook at the side there. There's 8 bridges around the village. The River Exe sort of runs through it. It's an ancient village. It dates back, well, it's actually mentioned in the Domesday Book. That's how old it is. We're in Somerset, and this is one of the most sought-after villages. There's 3, and this is one of them, that people either want to live or they want to come to visit, because it is so beautiful. I mean, even on a day like today, which is pretty cold, still looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
It is a very... Yeah, I can imagine it being a tourist trap. It is just delightful.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, you wanted a bit of country life.
Yes.
Should we go and take a look at the first property?
Yes.
So this is just on your doorstep. Follow me. And only 2 miles away in Exton, sitting in glorious countryside, lies house number 1. So take a look at your first property.
Very nice.
Picture
You like it?
postcard.
Picture postcard.
It looks very well maintained, doesn't it? In actual fact,
Yes, it does.
this property was built around the 1750s, mid-1700s. For a long time, it was a school, certainly until like the 1960s, and it was just one level. In the 80s, it was made into a house. An extension was put on. So you do have an old property, but you also have, you know, the luxury of a new build, in a way.
Yes, yeah.
It's strange to look at a home that just had just 2 floors when we have 3 in our current house.
Yeah,
that's
true,
what's so
yeah.
different about it, I think.
Yeah, it's that adjustment.
It looks lovely.
Well, shall we step inside?
Yeah,
Yes, love
love
to.
This schoolhouse conversion is built of local stone from quarries in the surrounding hills and is in a wonderfully elevated position, offering spectacular views. Let's start with the kitchen, always a great place to start.
It's compact, but it's very, very nice. It's very nice.
And I think the butcher's block in the middle gives it something else,
Yes, it
doesn't
does. I've never had any
Well, you've always wanted
iron
that.
something in the
You've
middle.
always wanted something in the middle.
Have you?
Yeah.
There you go. I can see
There
the
it is.
dogs racing round and round.
I love the floor too.
Nice floor.
So it's light, it's spacious. You've got a
Yeah.
utility room next door.
Oh, great.
Access to the garden. Well, let's see how this house flows. If you follow me. So you've got a breakfast room here with views onto the garden. And then it flows through into your sitting room.
Very
Gorgeous
nice.
floors.
Yeah, lovely floors.
Lovely colour. The whole ground floor, it's just lovely. It is. I mean, you can just move without obstruction into every room and every part of the bottom of the house.
Yeah.
It seems that we're doing well to meet our buyers' preferred open-plan style, and there's more down here that could fit their criteria. A small ground floor double bedroom with an ensuite shower room could be ideally placed for Tim's Reiki healing, and there's a further 2 bedrooms upstairs, making 3 in total. A good-sized double is served by a sleek contemporary family bathroom, and the last bedroom is the biggest one, which comes with its own ensuite shower room.
So, your master bedroom.
Oh, very nice.
It's nice. And this is what they've added on, isn't it, the top floor?
Yes.
OK.
Yeah, this was added on, I think, around the 1980s. Now, I know you wanted a large master bedroom, didn't you?
We just have a big
It's
bed.
a big bed.
7 by 7.
Oh, my goodness. You can get all the dogs on your bed with
Yes.
you, can't you?
Yes, we could.
That is quite some bed.
I think it's coming from a big home to a small home. I suppose it's that feeling of claustrophobia. It's that things closing in on you. It is a lovely home, though, and whoever lives here is very lucky.
The idea of downsizing in theory is quite different in practice, and our buyers seem to be struggling with the reality of such a shift. So we'll see if the outside space is big enough for their 3 dogs. The garden is made up of 2 lawned areas that wrap themselves around the property, and there's also a large double garage approached by a gravel drive. But now to turn our attention to talking money.
It is that time. Who'd like to go first? How much is this property on the market for?
Yeah, I would say about 425.
Right. Tim?
I'm going to come in a little bit under that, not being disrespectful to the property, but at 395.
Oh.
I know.
Who's closest? That's the question. And it is Tim. Currently on the market for 399,950.
Really?
You're very close.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, go and take another look around.
Okay.
And I'll
Okay.
catch up with you when you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy.
Some £75,000 under budget, on the market for £399,950. The first house in our selection is a schoolhouse conversion dating way back to the 1750s. It has an open-plan vibe to the downstairs accommodation and 3 bedrooms, 2 of which are en suite. Outside, the garden wraps itself right around the property and features extensive countryside views.
When we first walked up the lane and I saw the house, I thought, a beautiful looking home. I mean, very well done. Hard to believe that it was almost 300 years old. The house on the inside, I think the flow of the house is perfect. I would give it 10 out of 10 for that, exactly what we're looking for.
I love the flow. It's open planned, like we asked for. The only thing is the garden is small, and that the whole idea of the move was a bigger garden because we have the dogs. But apart from that, this is a lovely house.
Well, that's it. The tour's over.
Yeah, we enjoyed number 1, house number 1.
That was a good start. Ready for house number 2?
We're ready.
When you think of Exmoor, the picture painted is probably one of vast open moorland. But trees and woodland are one of the defining characteristics of the landscape and vital in improving the local environment and natural habitats. Around 12% of the land is covered by forest, unusually extending all the way to the coastal shore. And these trees act as giant filters to clean the air and the water, and through photosynthesis, absorb carbon dioxide to produce oxygen and wood. Tim and Sue like to be actively involved in their community, so we sent them to Birch Cleeve Wood to meet the park's sustainability and economy manager, Tim Stokes. And he explained how Exmoor's woodlands and the local residents are helping the area to become carbon neutral.
Good morning. Welcome
Nice
to
to have you.
Exmoor.
Thank you, sir.
Trees are very important to Exmoor, which is one of the reasons why we've come here today. If the woodlands start to get overgrown and dense, then you don't get as much wildlife in there, and not as many plants growing. So by opening them out a bit, by managing them a bit, you not only get things like wood fuel coming from that or timber, which can be used for making things,
Yes.
you're also improving the biodiversity as well. For the carbon emissions or greenhouse gas emissions that arise as a consequence of human activity in the national park, we wish to make our impact nil.
What can residents do to get involved?
Well, they can do a lot in their own homes just by using energy more efficiently. On the heat side of things, you could do things like install a wood heating system, wood pellet or log or wood chip. So there's quite a wide range of renewable energy technologies that you can install.
The benefits of low-carbon living include reduced energy bills and more money for the local economy. So, timber produced from the conservation management of the woodlands is not only sold off as fuel, but used to maintain all the park's fences and signposts. Walkers and residents aren't the only ones who benefit. Local sculptor Matthew Crabb creates some of his one-off pieces from Exmoor's sustainably felled trees.
Where do you get your inspiration from for these things?
I started off really influenced by local wildlife. So I was doing owls and birds, heron, fish, stuff like that. And now as the years have gone by, things have got bigger and more elaborate. Now, you've got a lot of control with these things. They're not quite as brutal as they look.
What makes Matthew's talent so impressive is that he creates his intricate sculptures using a chainsaw, and he's demonstrating his skills today by carving an owl. An award-winning sculptor, Matthew competes internationally and is recognised as one of the world's leading chainsaw carvers. We're not letting our guys loose with the chainsaw, but they can't resist having a go with smaller power tools to sand and refine the owl's shape. I hope both Tim and Sue have been inspired by the ecological and creative opportunities here in Exmoor. But for now, it's back to the house hunt. For our next property, we're staying in Somerset, but venturing just about a mile outside of the national park, to the large hamlet of Skillgate. About 5 miles away and nestled in the hills of the park, the town of Dulverton is the nearest place for day-to-day shopping, with a choice range of specialist shops and delis, cafes and country pubs. But just 15 minutes drive away in Skillgate and boasting some incredible countryside views, our second property is this delightful stone-built barn conversion.
That is quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely, lovely
That is.
brickwork.
They're magnificent.
Yeah.
All that glass.
Have you thought ever about living in a barn? Have you looked
Yes.
at any barns in the past?
Well, we've seen them on
Only online.
online.
Yeah.
We've
But
looked, but you don't get the feel for it.
No.
And, I mean, to be here, I mean,
this is nice.
yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, I'm liking this. Very
Yeah.
good start. Who wants to start the tour, yes?
I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing
Yeah,
inside.
we're ready when you are.
Good, come on.
Converted into a home in 2003, the origins of this barn date back to about 1850, and first impressions for both Sue and Tim are hitting the mark. So let's see if we can keep up the positivity inside.
Welcome to the kitchen dining area.
Very nice.
This is, yeah, it's lovely.
This
nice.
is lovely. Very nice.
Lovely light room.
Open plan feel?
Perfect.
Good.
Perfect.
Can you imagine yourself sitting here, you know, having supper with the dogs? Is this sort of...
I think it's lovely and bright. That's the thing that I like. All the light coming in.
I love the floors.
The oak gives it a warmth, doesn't it?
Yes, and we have that in our house, you know, for the dogs. Again, that's good.
We managed to find your open plan here. Let's continue.
This property is laid out in an L shape with this kitchen diner and family room lying in one wing, and then across on the far side is a large separate sitting room. Sandwiched between the two wings is a study as well as a utility cum shower room. The study is a generous size, so I'm thinking this could be used for Tim's Reiki business. And next up is the main living room.
So,
Oh, this
here's
is
your
great.
drawing room, sitting room.
Very nice. I like this a lot.
Yes, it's nice.
And if you just look, you can see the thickness of the walls. They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
2 foot
Especially
thick.
the windows,
Yeah.
how deep the windows go.
They're huge. Actually, it's a nice room because you've got that room there, and this is kind of a snug type area.
Yeah.
You know, a room to watch TV in and just put your feet up.
Yes.
Have a glass of whiskey or whatever.
I've got this vision of you two sort of semi-living in that part of the property and then in the evenings retreating into here.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a kind of pipe smoking room, isn't it? Although you don't smoke a pipe.
No, dear.
Not anymore, you're giving
Not
that one
anymore,
up.
giving that one up.
Now, the last property slightly struggled with a master bedroom.
It did.
Yeah, OK, well, let's see what you think of this one, see how it compares.
This property comes with a total of 3 bedrooms, including a spacious double room and a large single, both of which have use of the family bathroom. And I'm confident that this time the master will comfortably fit our buyer's enormous bed.
Wow.
So how do you feel about this room?
Oh, yeah, this is nice.
Quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
A little bit bigger than the last bedroom I showed
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
about twice the size.
can definitely get the bed in there.
Yeah, you're spoilt for space in here.
you. Got a huge master bathroom with a separate shower and bath.
It's a bonus.
Beautifully done, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Again, it's nice and light, isn't it?
So you wanted open spaces, plenty of light, 3 bedrooms, big kitchen diner, but what else was on your wish list?
Outside space.
Important outside space. We're going to see what this garden looks like.
After you.
So far, we really seem to be doing rather well to deliver all the essential elements they've asked for. And I've no doubt the dogs will be well catered for too, as the property lies in a half-acre plot. The garden is mostly laid to lawn backing onto farmland, and there's also a detached garage.
Now, often with barns, you don't get any land because they're attached to a farm.
That's
so
right.
it is unusual to get this much. And then you have that amazing vista.
It's very nice. It's a nice property.
It is very nice.
That's a lovely smile I got then. OK, well, let's hope we continue with that smile, because I'm going to ask you the price.
Oh, this is, I think with the open space and where it's situated, and it's very unusual to have so much land. I'd say 450.
Right. Tim?
I'm going to go... I'm going to go 465.
All right. How would you feel if I said the asking price is £395,000?
Really?
Really?
That is the asking price. We're just outside the national park. If this was inside the national park, I think we'd be much closer to your estimates.
Oh,
Goodness
wow.
me.
Look at that lovely smile. I'm so
made her
pleased.
day.
I haven't disappointed you.
No.
Why don't you get out of this cold weather, have another look inside,
Okay.
check out the garage and the study, potential there for your business.
Okay.
And it's so nippy, I think I might come inside and join you. Off you go.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Enjoy. Take your
After you.
time.
Thank you.
Well, it really is a cracking property. It gives them everything they want. Wide open spaces, lots of natural light, half an acre, and just look at that view. Sensational.
Once again, hugely under budget and on the market for £395,000, our second property started life as a barn and was converted into a house 10 years ago. It has a large open-plan kitchen, dining and family room, as well as a separate sitting room, and upstairs offers 3 bedrooms, including a grand master ensuite. Lastly, the plot extends to half an acre of grounds, giving plenty of opportunity for the dogs to stretch their legs.
I could fall in love with this house quite easily. It's warm when you come in, it's welcoming. And I get the same feeling as I did when we bought our other 2 houses. You could easily settle into here quite nicely. It's nice to find a house like the 2 houses we had before, and there's so much we could do with this house. I think we could make this into a nice home.
We like the property. Sue loves the property. She can already see herself here. She's already built a conservatory out the back. She's just really, really happy. I mean, you could see that when she was standing in the garden. She just glowed. And with Sue, that glow turns to tears eventually. So it's a good sign.
I didn't think we'd find something like this, and I think that's why I'm a little bit emotional. Tears of joy.
You like the house? You like everything about it?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
I think we could live here.
I think we could. Will you stop crying then?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it. You've seen our first 2 houses. Are you pleased with what you've seen so far?
Yes, we are.
Yeah?
Had a good Good day.
Good. Well, it is very chilly now, isn't it? Should we go and get a nice hot cup of tea?
Lovely.
Should we get warm?
Yes, please. Thank you.
It's the second day of our property search here in the West Country, and on a top budget of £475,000, we've been entrusted to help Tim and Sue exchange their Bournemouth townhouse for an Exmoor home. Coming up, we've got a different take on their countryside career aspirations in the Mystery House.
I think it's a great location. I think it's a great idea.
And I'll be off the beaten track in the wilds of Exmoor National Park.
Here in Exmoor, we may have hit the jackpot with our second property. We've got genuine tears from Sue. But so far, we haven't shown them anything with business potential. But our mystery house, well, it has it in spades. I'm just concerned it may be a step too far. Let's see.
So we're on to our third property, the mystery house. Got close with our second one. What are you thinking we might be showing you now?
I honestly don't know what you're going to show us this time, because each time we've had a good surprise.
Our final property destination is right up near the northern Exmoor coast, across the county border into Devon, where we're headed for the village of Brendan. About 3 miles away, the twin coastal villages of Linton and Lynmouth are in an enviable spot where the rugged moorland meets the sea. The streets are lined with an array of souvenir shops and pleasant pubs. And the mystery property makes the most of its proximity to this popular tourist hotspot on the coast, being just a 10-minute drive away on the rural outskirts of Brendan.
So here we have, Tim and Sue, your mystery house with blue sky behind.
Wow. What is it?
That's a very good question. Dates back to about 1780. It was run as a farm for many years, but for the last 50 years, it's been a very successful B&B.
Oh, really?
So what's going through your head? Because you have discussed the possibility of having a business.
I think it's a great idea to either do a doggy hotel, people come with their dogs, or a Reiki.
Well, with that thought in your mind, should we step inside?
Love to.
Rated 4-star by an official assessor, the Mystery Bed and Breakfast establishment is in a period property that spreads itself over 3 floors. Either side of the hallway, the 2 main reception rooms downstairs are given over for guests. There's a large but cosy sitting room with a wood-burning stove and a dining room with enough covers for full occupancy. The business averages around £55,000 a year, making around £20,000 in profit. But we'll come to the work side after we've seen the areas earmarked for home down a small flight of stairs.
So through and down here is the kitchen.
Oh, it's a nice kitchen. Nice size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give you some sort of geography. So we've got a huge larder behind us, which obviously if you're running this as a B&B is very important. Ahead of us you've got a conservatory which the owners use of their private area.
I mean, the prospect is exciting, but we have 3 dogs, and we have to be aware that we need a bit of space.
No fear, Tim, for space isn't a compromise in this mystery house. Currently, the owners' quarters are practically self-contained and all lie to one half of the property, with their own exclusive flight of stairs up to a grand master and living room on the 1st floor.
So up here, you've got the private quarter.
Wow.
Your private quarter. No guests allowed, just you 2 and the dogs.
Unusual.
Yeah, very nice space. There's a lot you could do with this up here.
It's a quirky, interesting house that's just full of possibilities.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the house, because what we've seen so far, exciting.
Up on this floor, there are also 4 letting bedrooms, all of which are en suite. 2 are comfortably sized doubles, one with a bath and the other with a shower, and the last 2 are smaller doubles, both with ensuite shower rooms. But I'm keen to show Tim and Sue what's up for grabs on the 2nd floor.
So right to the top of the house, You said you're used to 3 floors.
Yes.
I found you a property with 3 floors.
This is nice.
Yeah, how nice is that?
Yeah, this is nice.
It's a family room. You've got the double bed there. You've got a single bed there with another one that you can pull out. And your ensuite there as well.
Oh, this is nice.
It's a Reiki room.
Reiki room. Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
Exactly.
It could be. Now, when you look around, it's all furnished for everything. This property is being sold as you see it.
Right,
Everything
I've
is
got it like that.
included. Yeah, all the sofas, curtains, beds, everything.
We'd change it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And we were already
We're
talking about
already talking
knocking
about
the 2 bedrooms
how
through
we
and
would do it.
creating big rooms.
See, I turned my back for 1 minute and you're already getting creative on me, thinking how it would work.
If we didn't want to have a doggy hotel and we wanted to keep it for ourselves, we could convert the 2 bedrooms in.
Yeah.
2 nice sized rooms.
Yeah, it could be
couldn't
a
you?
complementary practice, and I could even get a tutor to come in, other than me, and run the Reiki classes with people in residence.
What a great
They
idea.
wouldn't have to go anywhere. Everything would be here. The treatment rooms, they could learn here, practice here, and then go home.
And you're surrounded, I can imagine, by the sort of countryside that people that are into Reiki
What a
would
holistic
appreciate.
area. Breathing energy here.
Right on your doorstep.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I must say that this is all sounding very positive, as the Mystery House is generating both thought and feeling. With the house tour wrapped up, we're going to head outside and take a look at the all-important garden. In an enclosed courtyard, there's even more business potential, with a range of single-storey outbuildings and stables, which could be used as kennels for the guests' dogs. Then the garden is split into various different areas, with the perfect rural backdrop of open farmland.
I would say in total, well, it's got to be well over half an acre. Does come with a price tag, but what is it?
I'm going to come in at 435.
I'm going to go higher. 465.
You are the closest. The asking price is £475,000.
Yeah, I was thinking you might say that.
It's right at the top of your budget, but the reason we picked it as the mystery, because it is an amazing property.
Yes, it is.
It has the potential to earn you income,
Yes.
and
it
that's
does.
the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fair price, given the location and the property.
Go and have another look around with that price in your head, and, well, give me a shout when you're ready.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks,
thank
Nikki.
See you later.
Right at the maximum budget, on the market for £475,000, the mystery property is another 18th century option, over 3 storeys and run as a lucrative bed and breakfast. The house currently lends itself to 5 ensuite letting bedrooms, as well as a generous master suite. The extensive ground floor living areas include a large kitchen breakfast room with separate owners' quarters, and the whole lot is in a prime position, surrounded by beautiful rural Exmoor at its very best.
I have to say, I am excited by this house because it just has a grand feel to it, and at the moment I feel grand, and I would love this house.
If we did take this house on, there is a lot to do, and there is a lot of potential for business. We're in the prime position. You can see that there's lots of tourists around here any time of the year, even this time of the year.
I think as a holistic centre, this has just enormous potential. At this moment in time, if I had to choose a house personally, I would choose this one.
Have you seen enough, you two?
Yes, thank you.
In all honesty, how are you feeling right now?
Excited?
Confused.
I've been confused. You. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confused are you after looking at the mystery?
10.
Ken.
Right, I
Very.
thought so. Well, let's go and have a chat. We can talk it through. Let's see if you formed any strong opinions either way.
Okay.
That may be the end of Tim and Sue's property tour in Exmoor, but there's still a whole host of beautiful houses here to suit all fashions and all finances. Starting with this 200-year-old 2-bed detached cottage in the village of Roadwater. On the market just shy of £220,000, it comes with a rustic country kitchen and a cosy sitting room with wood burner. A step up the property scale, located in Treeborough, is this unusual 3-bedroom converted schoolhouse, featuring an attractive hung slate frontage. With an asking price of £325,000, the main house is currently unfurnished, but the attached schoolroom is a far grander affair with a lofty open-plan kitchen and living room. And locations rarely top the setting of this 5-bedroom Victorian house on the River Barle in Dulverton. Gleaming white against the surrounding green countryside and woodland, the attached asking price is £650,000. Inside there's a farmhouse kitchen as well as a substantial sitting room with the perfect view down to the rushing river. During my time in Exmoor, I'm being given the opportunity to explore the national park with tour guide Neil Osmond, who has a unique licence to drive visitors in a 4x4 to those difficult but beautiful parts of the terrain that are really tough to reach on foot.
Great to meet you.
And you too.
Before I jump in, I've got to ask, have you ever got stuck?
No.
Good. That's a positive side,
Absolutely.
right? Ponies and stunning scenery, here we come.
Let's go for it.
Our journey takes us up and down the countryside, across the open moorland and through ancient sheltered forests.
It's so narrow.
Not frightened, are you?
Not frightened, but I'm glad you're driving.
Exmoor's cultural heritage dates all the way back to the Stone Age, but during the medieval period it was used as a royal hunting forest, and the grazing livestock here provided revenue for the crown.
It's so striking. It's
impressive,
so
isn't it?
beautiful. Yeah.
Our first destination is Foreland Point, Devon's most northerly place where the clifftop heaths overlook the sea.
My goodness. What a view.
Stunning, isn't it?
It is.
Throughout the year, it's the Lymouth Foreland Lighthouse that commands these jaw-dropping coastal views.
Neil, this is a remarkable spot, isn't it?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Just looking at the lighthouse, sort of hanging on to the side of the cliff, it seems.
Yeah, this lighthouse was built in 1900 and was automated in 1994. And now you can rent it out as a holiday let from the National Trust.
The views from the lighthouse must be amazing. Now, what is it looking out on? What can we see?
This is the Bristol Channel, and straight over there is Wales.
Back on the road again, and all the while I'm patiently keeping my eyes peeled for some wild four-legged beauties.
So, Nikki, I promised you ponies.
I know.
Here we are, and we've got a little foal up there.
Oh, sheltering from the wind. Have you any idea how many there are in total on the moors?
Well, there's a few hundred left on Exmoor, and there's about under 1,000 left worldwide.
So does anybody actually own them?
Yeah, all the ponies are owned by separate herd owners. So this year's foals, for instance, will be checked in October for their DNA and their bloodline.
So all the farmers that have herds, that's the one day they actually are hands-on and they look after their welfare, and the rest they're left.
Absolutely. They're left alone to look after themselves.
The hardy but endangered Exmoor pony is Britain's oldest breed of native horse, with a pure bloodline that could be traced back to prehistoric times. Our final stop is the medieval Lanarker Bridge, where for centuries shepherds have driven their livestock over the River Barle.
Now, Neil, this is a rather tranquil spot, isn't it? We're sort of nestled within the moorlands.
This is one of my favourite spots, Nikki. You come down the hill here, you've got moorlands, you've got woodlands, some farmland, and then right behind us you've got a classic Exmoor medieval bridge going over crystal clear Exmoor River Barle.
Goodness.
Fantastic.
I mean, you look at that bridge and you realise hardly anything's changed over the centuries.
Absolutely. As it was. It's fantastic. What a place to be.
Neil, what a great way to see the national park. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. My goodness, it's nippy here in Exmoor, but that's it. Our house hunt is over. Tim and Sue have seen all 3 properties. Now, I think we got pretty close with 2, but let's hear what they've got to say. We showed you 3 properties, and, you know, that challenge of finding open plan and spaciousness and light and airy, it was a challenge for us, but I think we got pretty close. 2 out of the 3 houses, well, my impression was you really liked them. Would I be correct?
Yes, you're quite right. Yeah, I think we each liked one for different reasons.
Yes, we did.
So out of the two that you liked, open converted barn, had good reaction there, tears of emotion. The third one, very close to the coast. If you had to pick one out of those two houses, which one would it be? Put you on the spot now, haven't I?
It'd be number 3. It would be the...
The mystery?
Yeah, it would be the mystery house. It's a B&B at the moment. Whether we would continue with that, I don't know, because I don't know if I would want to share that magnificence with anyone else other than Sue and my dogs.
I like that.
It was a great place, yes.
But so much so that you're going to have another look at it, or what's the next course of action?
I think we are going to do that. I think we're going to go home and look at the floor plans, and I think we're going to maybe contact the agent. If we could get it at the price that we wanted it for, we would do it. Because it is just... It's a beautiful, tranquil location.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous.
It is. Sue, Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you as well. It's been great fun.
It's funny, you know, Tim and Sue asked us to find them an open-plan, light and spacious home with a garden big enough so their 3 dogs can run around in. And that's exactly what they saw with our second property. However, when we showed them something very different, we didn't keep to the brief at all. They completely fell in love with it. And that's the magic of the Mystery House. Until next time, bye-bye. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Northern Ireland, England or Wales and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow. This Grade 1 listed church, which can seat a congregation of just 30, is reputedly the smallest complete parish church still in regular use anywhere in England. So where am I? I'll tell you in just a moment. Today's show revolves around healing hands and pampered paws as we help a couple and their dogs find a dream country home.
This is really nice.
Very nice, very nice.
This is, yeah, it's lovely.
This
nice.
is lovely.
And after polite feedback, we find something to really ignite their passions.
I think we could live here.
I think we could. Will you stop crying then?
Yeah.
Today I'm in the Exmoor National Park, and this is Culburn Church, which can only be accessed by foot. Now, parts of the church are believed to date back to Saxon times, but over the years it's seen many changes, including the bell tower that was built by the Victorians. Now, long before Christianity reached these shores, and even longer before this church was built, Culburn was a centre for pagan worship. And just standing here, you can feel it's a very special place. It may not come as a great surprise to learn that Exmoor is one of the least populated places in England, with a small permanent population of just 10,300 people living in 4,500 households. Now, according to a leading property website, last year only 212 properties were bought or sold, but they went for quite a premium. A detached property within the boundaries of the national park costs around £321,000. That's 20% above the national average. However, there's nothing average about the properties we've picked for today's buyers. So let's meet them. 3 years ago, retired policeman Tim and his wife Sue swapped America's East Coast for the British South Coast. Returning expats, they'd spent 25 years in the Sunshine State of Florida. But the call of the English countryside could not be ignored. And though they currently live in this large 6-bedroom, 3-storey property in Bournemouth, the plan is to find their dream home in the West Country.
I think one of the reasons that we'd like to move from this house is it's a lot of house, but it goes upwards. And what we'd like is a house that goes outwards.
Although it's detached, we're quite close. And with 3 dogs, you know, we have to sort of keep them quiet, which is not fair for them. So we would like more room.
It was in Somerset where they first met, so the area holds a very special place in their hearts.
What we would like to do is to look for a property in and around the Exmoor area. We've looked at Linton and Lynmouth and Barnstable and just a few places out around there.
We don't want to be too isolated, you know, be able to get to a town where there's
a pub.
Pub and leisure centre, because we both do quite a few sports.
Sue works in the town as a swimming instructor and Tim has a passion for Tai Chi. In fact, The couple have a shared love of sport, both as participants and volunteers.
We used to do a lot of youth work with underprivileged children and stuff like that.
We ran a football tournament. Tim used to do all the refereeing and I used to do all the paperwork, just to keep these kids off the streets.
And such is Sue's commitment to charity that Tim nominated her for the torch relay in the ultimate sporting event, the 2012 Olympic Games.
When I knew that I was nominated, I never thought I'd get to actually run with the torch. It was really nice.
To be able to give someone a moment like that is very special. You deserve that. Oh.
They're clearly devoted to one another, but this couple also have separate business ideas bubbling. Tim is a qualified Reiki master and yearns for the right environment to offer his complementary therapy.
Ideally, what I would like